Well, that's it. That's the end of the presentation, or the final part of the presentation I should say, and I've decided to overdub this final part. Two reasons. One, I forgot to put the microphone on. I forgot to switch it on before I pressed record, which, never mind, these things happen. But the other thing is the sound of the sanding, and that it seems to drown everything else out when you're sanding and you've got the disc on. So I started with the disc there, and I cleaned it off to start with a rubber pad that I've got to be able to remove the dust. There I'm using the rubber pad on the circular one. This is the Simon Hope one, and I'm using that to sand up the inside of the ears, to put like a curve on the inside of the ears and a curve on the bottom of the ears, so that it seats itself nicely on the head. And what I then do is check it with the head just to make sure that it's fitting on okay, and round off the tops of the ears as well. So those particular turnings, they're what's called off-centre turnings, so I've got sort of a semicircle on the ear. There you can see it's been rounded off on the bottom there, just to match in with the curve on the dog's head. You can see the amount of dust there, hence I've got to do something to protect both my nose and my lungs. I mean, it's my nose more than anything, because the consultants now said it's chronic rhinitis, so I don't want to stop working with wood, but I'm going to use the air caps and the air helmet. So I'm just screwing the neck part onto the actual body. You can see the body's been made up of 3 pieces of fence rail that I glued and screwed together. I made sure the screws were actually deep enough into the material so that I didn't catch it when I was actually doing the turning. So here we are. I'm just taking a 60mm, it was an 80mm screw that I used to secure the neck to the body, and this is a 60mm screw that I'm using to secure the head to the neck. But I take it in so far with the cordless, and then I just finish it off with a handheld screwdriver just to tighten it up and get it exactly in place, and just tighten it until it's tight to the turn. So now we want to fit the little legs on, and I've sanded all the legs up so that they've got an angle on them, so that I can then screw the legs into position. Now what I'm doing, I'm actually screwing the leg more or less in line with the neck on the front, but about 15mm lower than the central screw that holds those 2 pieces of material together. Same on the back, and that one is on an angle, but again about 15mm away from the screw. Same on the front leg there, and you can see that some of the square section there where the rail is shown through onto the material from the fence posts. So I'm not bothered about that, because at the end of the day it's going to go out in the garden. It's going to be a garden decoration. So now we're finishing with the tail. Again, be careful when you're screwing them. You're holding the pieces in your hand. Make sure your hand's well away from where the drill's going to come through the other side. And then pop a little screw in the ears. I have actually speeded up the video for this process in the editing suite. And second ear going on, and then we're ready to position where we want the eyes to go. Now the little eyes that I use, I bought them from a company called Dainty Toys. Sadly they're no longer with us. The company, I think it went bankrupt during COVID or something like that, but they ceased trading and never came back after COVID. So I've got the little eyes. I bought these eyes years ago to make owls, and I'm actually going to do a later video on how I make my owls. And I just secure them in with a little bit of the thick super glue from Chestnut Products. And I bought these little noses. They were meant for teddy bear noses, but they actually work well for the little dog noses as well. And there's the 2 eyes in position. There's the little plastic nose, and there we go. The next bit is the bit that I didn't put them on the first lot that I made, but then I thought, oh, it'd be nice to have like a little bone. So I put a little dog's bone in the mouth there, and straighten it up. And there we are. Secure it again. For the tail and the ears, it's all 40mm screws, and as you can see I forgot to switch the mic on. My apologies.
Well, that's it. That's the little dog made, and I've made it completely out of the fencing that I got from Howard's, and this one I've put a little bone on. I'll put a couple of pictures of some others on at the end, and then it's been a fun project. It has something nice to do, something nice for anybody, for gifts. It's lovely. So the mask worked. It's worked really well. Very pleased with it. I know that I may have to do some overdubbing on video, but my lungs is more important. I can spend a little bit of time overdubbing, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and you go out and you make yourself some little dogs for in the garden or for friends. That's it from me. Bye for now.